Live from News 7 KWWL, we've got you covered. This is KWWL News at 6.
Now at 6, a look back on the career of legendary Hawkeye head coach Hayden Fry.
I got to speak for so many people that coached for him, played for him, you know. So.
Very emotional head coach Kirk Ferentz today reacting to the news of Hayden's death. He gave him his chance back in 1981. The Hawkeyes still preparing for the Holiday Bowl, too.
And we're also looking at some reaction from prominent Iowa figures and KWWL viewers sharing memories of Coach Fry.
And good evening, everyone. I'm Ron Steele.
And I'm Abby Turpin. Thank you for joining us.
Well, tonight here live at 6 o'clock, we begin with the death of legendary Hawkeye former head coach Hayden Fry.
Coach Fry died in hospice care last night at the age of 90.
As you know, Hayden Fry forever changed the face of Hawkeye football, starting the very day that Bump Elliott and then University of Iowa President Sandy Boyd introduced Hayden as the head coach in 1978.
I have done my homework to find out if Iowa is going to be committed. I have been assured that this will take place.
And just 3 years later, Hayden would give Hawk fans a taste of what was to come.
Handoff goes to Phillips. He's in. Touchdown, Iowa.
First, the 10-7 upset victory over then undefeated number 6 Nebraska. 2 weeks later, an upset win over UCLA, en route to the first of 3 Big Ten championships and a trip to the '82 Rose Bowl. Iowa's first trip to the Rose Bowl since this 1959 game and a Rose Bowl victory over California.
You know, we just executed.
With the Swarm, the Tiger Hawk, and his familiar sunglasses as classic persona, Hayden guided the Hawks to unprecedented college football success. Hayden's 20 years at Iowa gave Hawkeye fans some amazing upsets. Remember Jim Zabel's call at Ohio State?
It's caught. It's in. The five. Yes, touchdown. I can't believe it. A touchdown to Marv Cook.
Beat Michigan. It's on its way. It's good.
That 1985 Big Ten champion team, led by quarterback Chuck Long, spent 5 weeks at number 1. Over the 20-year Hayden era at Iowa, there would be 14 bowl trips for the Hawkeyes and 6 bowl championships.
And Iowa has won the Sun Bowl.
In his 37 years as a major college head football coach, Hayden Fry earned 232 victories.
Winning is winning, and losing is losing, and nobody likes to lose.
Certainly not Hayden, who could be very hot and cold. His big smile could fade quickly following a loss.
But it irritates the hell out of me to lose 2 ball games with the team that we have and have to always be on the defensive.
Hayden recalled his tearful November 1998 retirement announcement.
I truly love the state of Iowa. I'll always be a Hawk.
You see, very few people knew that Hayden was battling prostate cancer at the time.
I never wanted anyone to know about it because I didn't want to use that as an excuse. We had a real tough season.
We love you. We know that we could not have accomplished what we accomplished without your support and love.
The College Football Hall of Fame inducted Hayden in 2003, along with his former star player at SMU, Jerry Levias. Nearly 40 years earlier, Hayden had made Southwest Conference history by breaking the race barrier, making the soon-to-be All-American player, Jerry Levias, the first black to ever play football in the Southwest Conference. Hayden told me it's his most important accomplishment as a coach.
Without question, the most valuable, important thing I did in all of my coaching career was to be able to give Jerry Levias, a black athlete, a scholarship at Southern Methodist University.
Hayden preached an us against the world mentality, which brought his teams close together. So they'd always play for not only Hayden, but for each other.
But the greatest experience I had was coaching at the University of Iowa. And yes, I'll always be a Hawk.
Now, Hayden gave me that interview back in 2010 out of his home in Mesquite, Nevada, when he lived out there just ahead of Fry Fest. You know, so many people, Hawkeye fans around the country, they credit Hayden with helping put the University of Iowa on the map as well as athletic department.
Yeah, and many mourning the loss today, but they say they believe that he packed all he could into his 90 years.
KWWL Iowa City area reporter Travis Breese is live for us right now. He's in Coralville with more thoughts from some of the current coaches about Hayden Fry.
Ron, I am off of First Avenue right now, also called Hayden Fry Way. This is the route that the football team takes as they come into town on those football Saturdays, right past Coach Fry's memorial statue right here. Now, like you said, some of the coaches called it a bit of a bittersweet day as they were excited about National Signing Day. They said it was a 2020 recruiting class that they thought Coach Fry would have been proud of. People have been dropping off tokens and things to remember Coach Fry at his memorial here since last night. Some even bringing the iconic items that made up his look, like the large sunglasses that you were just talking about, Ron, and the Hawkeye hat. Current head coach Kirk Ferentz credited Fry with taking a chance on him when he hired him in 1981 and says his influence was felt throughout the state.
I think I speak for so many people that coached for him, played for him, So, the real story is Coach Fry. He's just a really impressive person, truly unique and truly charismatic.
Coach Fry said he recently told his players that he's sorry they may have never got the chance to meet him or be coached by him. Coach Ferentz also said that they are planning something to remember Coach Fry at the upcoming Holiday Bowl in San Diego. He said they're not sure exactly what the plan is yet, but they're bouncing around some ideas right now. Reporting live in Coralville, Travis Breese, News 7 KWWL.
Yeah, Travis, thank you very much. Yeah, very emotional head coach Kirk Ferentz today, who also told reporters that they're going to honor Coach Fry next season as well. Remember, they've already been to the Holiday Bowl under Coach Fry, too.
And we do know that those plans for next season are still being worked on as well. Well, Governor Kim Reynolds ordering all flags in our state to be flown at half-staff today until sunset on Friday, of course, to honor and remember Coach Hayden Fry.
Now, Coach Hayden Fry inspired a yearly celebration of all things Hawkeye, known, of course, in his name, Fry Fest, a one-day event always held on the Friday before the home opener, going back to, I think this started in 2009, if I remember correctly.
And people and teams all across the country sharing their thoughts and memories of Coach Fry. Some of those include former Iowa quarterback Chuck Long, Hawkeye basketball player Jordan Bohannon, and former Iowa State football coach and Hawkeye offensive lineman Dan McCarney.
Yeah, Jordan Bohannon's father, Gordy, was the quarterback for Hayden's first Rose Bowl team. Hundreds of KWWL viewers leaving their comments on our social media pages here in the last 24 hours, sharing their memories of Hayden Fry. And here's a look at some of those great comments coming from you, the viewers.
And we do have several stories on our website honoring Coach Fry and his legacy. You can read those by just heading to our website, KWWL.com.
In other news here tonight, live at 6 o'clock, the Iowa Court of Appeals has now overturned the conviction of a man who was found guilty of killing his girlfriend in 2018. Fonte Bulow received earlier a sentence of 50 years in prison, but the court at that time excluded Samantha Link's medical records as some possible evidence in his trial. The court ruled that those exclusions were not justified. As a result, Fonte Bulow's conviction was overturned. New details tonight now on the impeachment proceedings, which have gone on all day and are going on right now.
Yeah, right now, in fact, let's take a live look inside. This is the debate still happening in the House. Right now, KWWL's Collin Dorsey is live in our newsroom tonight after talking with our political analysts today about what we have seen in the recent days.
Yeah, tonight the House could officially vote to impeach President Donald Trump on the 2 counts against him. Now, this does not immediately remove him from office. That's up to the Senate to hold a trial. Nevertheless, this has the potential to leave a lasting effect on the democracy.
Had people coming in who were either Republican or Democratic witnesses saying completely different things about the same set of facts. You have voters extremely divided over this. You have members of Congress who are extremely divided.
Hyper-partisanship has been a big part of the impeachment hearings, both Republicans and Democrats showing loyalty to their parties. KWWL political analyst and UNI political science professor Chris Larimer chiming in on the process.
There's a study a couple weeks ago out of UCLA asking Republican and Democratic voters what issues are most important to you. And the impeachment process was really, really important for both sets of voters.
With primary and caucus season right around the corner, it's still unknown what the end result of the impeachment will do to the elections.
I don't know that we've seen any evidence in polls that the impeachment process is going to persuade voters to go one way or the other. I mean, people seem so dug in on along partisan lines that it'd be surprising if this changes anything.
With voters and politicians getting farther and farther apart, it brings up the question, does this damage our democracy? Larimer says it could, but it's not clear.
There is no middle ground, and the two sides seem to be getting further and further apart. And does the impeachment process just continue to create that divide, make an even bigger divide between the two parties and among voters?
Now, he says the big thing that could come out of all of this is the public's trust in the voting system. If this causes the public to lose trust in our elections, then people stop voting and lose representation. Now, if you remember, the Clinton impeachment also took place in about the same time frame, spanning from December of 1998 to February of 1999.
Colin, thanks very much for the update tonight. By the way, according to the New York Times, there are 2 Democratic House members who will vote against the articles of impeachment.
But Iowa's 3 Democratic representatives have said they will vote yes on the impeachment articles.
Well, coming up here tonight live on News 7 KWWL, how you can stay safe during this holiday season from any kind of electrical fire.
Also, the Iowa Department of Public Safety getting involved in an investigation. We'll tell you more about that coming up. Continuing coverage now, the Iowa Department of Public Safety is now part of an investigation into claims the residents of the Glenwood Resource Center were subject to human experiments.
That's right, Abby. In fact, the feds are already involved. The U.S. Department of Justice is investigating, and now the state, saying the feds are specifically looking into claims that this facility performed sexual arousal and optimal hydration studies on some of the residents there.
People across the state of Iowa are concerned, and these are our most vulnerable patients here in the state of Iowa. And again, we want to make sure that they're well taken care of.
Meanwhile, Glenwood Superintendent Jerry Ray has been placed on administrative leave because of the allegations. We'll be right back. Kind of an update for you here tonight. We talked last night about 11 house fires in Cedar Rapids since Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah, and today we're talking with an area electrician about avoiding common problems that could lead to a fire.
With that in mind, let's go live right now to KWWL reporter Ashley Neighbor. She's live after talking with the experts at Nelson Electric Company in Cedar Rapids. More about electric safety this time of year.
Well, that's right. Those 11 fires since Thanksgiving were caused by things like unattended cooking and even an electrical circuit overload, one by a candle. So today I asked an expert, what are some do's and don'ts when it comes to holiday decorating and cooking?
That's a bad day waiting to happen right there.
TJ Miners at Nelson Electric shows us firsthand what can happen when an extension cord is used incorrectly.
And so then it ends up overloading the circuit and you get this.
That can happen when the wattage of what's plugged in is more than it's designed to handle, or extension cords are plugged into one another.
People think, well, it's just temporary, it's not a big deal, but that's how electrical fire starts. Plan out your display a little better, spend a little bit of extra money and go and buy the right extension cords.
Another common problem is nicked or frayed cords.
We might be using some old extension cord from the garage. We're not thinking about it, and then we take a piece of furniture and shove it up against the wall and pinch the extension cord, and you end up with a fire.
Like this one here.
So that extension cord just needs to be cut up and thrown away.
This season, many of the fires are starting in the kitchen. Before you plug in multiple crock pots, check if the outlets are on the same circuit.
There might be, 10 outlets on one circuit breaker.
And the same goes for space heaters.
More than likely, a space heater is probably going to take one circuit for the space heater, and that's it.
But if you are set on a large outside display, Miners recommends
make sure you're using a ground fault circuit interrupter, so that basically if any current goes to ground, so if it goes not where it's supposed to and goes someplace else, it's going to trip out.
Okay.
So.
Now he also tells me those new smart outlets that you can buy at the store actually have a meter on them, so you can see how much wattage is being used. Now, if you are set on a large outdoor display, Miners says they have set up temporary panels in the past, but it's all about planning ahead. Live in the Cedar Rapids newsroom, Ashley Neighbor, News 7 KWWL.
Right, Ashley, thank you very much. Turning now to our full forecast, we'll send things over to Storm Track 7 Chief Meteorologist Mark Schnackenberg. And Mark, I see there in the background you've got some snow falling, but it doesn't look like we're going to see that on Christmas.
That may be our only snow that we're going to see around here for Christmas. We're probably going to have another brown Christmas around here as temperatures warm up. So let's get right to the forecast. Come Christmas Eve, we'll have a mostly cloudy sky. Temperatures will be in the mid-40s. Christmas Day, a small chance for a late afternoon rain shower with temperatures in the lower 40s is how it looks right now. All is quiet. It was a cold day today, and it's cold still at this hour, but this is as warm as it, or as cold as it will be, because it just gets warmer after this for the next several days. So threat tracker showing it not going to be as cold here tonight, a little warmer here tomorrow with more sunshine, and then a mostly cloudy sky as we head into the day on Friday. Here's a look outside on our Waterloo camera, Storm Track 7 live weather network. Clear sky overhead and across the entire state. We've got a clear sky, a little bit of cloud cover to the north and west. That may drift towards the south and east, but we'll be able to see mostly clear to a partly cloudy sky as we head through the overnight hours. Temperatures at this hour are in the teens and some lower 20s. Temperatures aren't going to change very much from where they are right now. They may even come up a couple of degrees as a warm front starts to lift to the north and east. With that comes just a couple of clouds, otherwise dry conditions, maybe a little bit of patchy fog early tomorrow morning. That thins out quickly, and then we got plenty of sunshine throughout the entire day. So some good news there. As for any precipitation, a little bit of rain, possibly just off to the south and west, could make it into parts of eastern Iowa here as we get into very late in the day on Christmas, which takes us out to the end of the 7-day forecast. So dry conditions for the most part still. Any of the moisture that you see surrounding Iowa, that is going to be day 6 and day 7, which is next Tuesday and Wednesday. As for the day tomorrow, temperatures will be in the middle to upper 30s, so a little bit warmer than what we had today with plenty of sunshine. Your city-by-city forecast does include a mostly cloudy sky as we head into the day on Friday. And not too bad on Saturday. How about those temperatures into the middle 40s? We'll stay there on Sunday. A nice weekend, close to 50 in some spots here on Monday. Mostly cloudy sky, again dry. Just a small chance of a rain shower late in the day on Christmas Day. Otherwise, dry conditions are expected between now and then.
All right, still ahead here tonight. Thanks, Mark. Coming up here live at 6 o'clock, we're going to hear from Hawkeye great quarterback Chuck Long talking about what Hayden Fry meant to him.
Now, KWWL Sports.
It has been a tough 24 hours for Hawkeye Nation as it comes to grips with the loss of the legendary Hayden Fry. I spent some time today talking with some of the players who starred for Fry. And the conversation doesn't begin without mentioning his All-American quarterback, Chuck Long. Although he was lightly recruited out of high school, Long flourished at Iowa. He set numerous Big Ten records and appeared in 5 bowl games, including 2 Rose Bowls. Now, the Hawkeye football program was completely broken before Hayden Fry arrived back in 1978. Long believes Fry had the perfect genius to make magic happen in Iowa City.
Yeah, he had 3 things going for him at the time. He was ahead of the game offensively. He's ahead of the game in football. He's like where the spread offense is today. He really was the spread offense, to be honest with you. Number 2, he saw in others, he saw in people what others couldn't see, meaning myself, other players that he recruited that weren't recruited by anybody. He thought, hey, this guy fits our program. Let's take a chance on him. He hired great people around him, his staff. I mean, he has 5 Hall of Fame coaches off of the 1983 staff alone. I mean, he just knew people. And last but not least, he made it fun. And he made it fun, and we did the hokey pokey after wins, but speaking to the confidence question, he always wanted his players to leave the field in a confident way, whether it was a bad practice or a good practice or a loss or a win. He made sure his coaches said, you don't let them leave that locker room, that field without saying something positive, so they can come back with a good sense of energy, a source of energy the next day. And that's how he built confidence.
Off the field tonight at 10 o'clock. Iowa and Iowa State, you and I all producing some strong football recruiting classes. The Hawks signed 19 recruits, including Texas quarterback Deuce Hogan, a 4-star recruit who can spin it. Now, Hogan is one of 4 4-star recruits coming to Iowa. I will have the powerful tweet Deuce Hogan sent out today honoring fellow Texan Hayden Fry tonight at 10.
4-star, wow.
Yeah,
Okay, that's accurate.
Before we head out, a final check of our forecast.
Well, temperatures are not going to be as cold as they were tomorrow morning as they were this morning. Temperatures will hold steady in the teens and 20s. We'll see a little warmer weather here for tomorrow. Really, the next several days, a couple degrees warmer than the previous one as we head towards near 50 degrees by Monday. Dry conditions lead us right in towards Christmas. That rain there on Christmas right now appears to be very late in the day, so most of it will be dry. And Santa comes, well, with wheels on his sleigh.
There you go. All right. Thank you very much for joining us.
All right, be careful out there.